Hey, Soul Fam, Amelia Adair here. I hope you guys are feeling good and doing good. This word I got for you today, first of all, Soul Fam, look at this great gift I got. These are books. I don't know if you can see them. These are books. So the Lord was like, freestyle for them today. Let's talk about the books. And I was like, the books? He was like, yeah, the books. Soul Fam. Soul Fam, listen. In this next chapter, or in all the next chapters to come, okay, the Lord says change the narrator. And I was like, the narrator? Y'all know who the narrator is? The narrator is the one who is reading the story, you know? So let me give you a quick example. And I got a couple, but the narrator is the one that's going to be reading the words off the page, okay? The one who's telling the story, right? So if I had a story, let's see, I actually got a book right here. This is a book that I recommend. I was reading it. It's called The Brain in Context, right? So if I'm reading this story, right, and I read it and I say, The Brain in Context. See, you see how I'm narrating. I'm reading the words on the page, right? The Brain in Context, right? That's the name of it. That's what it says in the back. Now let me switch the narrator. Here we go. The brain in context. You see that? You see the difference between the brain and context? Somebody that's hearing that is going to be like, oh God, the brain in context. But somebody that hears the brain in context, you know what I'm saying? You put that, when you switch the narrator, you switch the energy. That's what you're doing. You're shifting the energy. You're changing from someone who's a little more, to someone who's a little bit more positive. So let's switch the narrator again, right? So oftentimes, this is for my Black community. Maybe I should have said that first, but oftentimes as Black people, we're targeted in marketing. We're targeted with everyone's brand. They want to target the Black community. Gucci, Versace, wigs, and when we get upset, we'll say, we're only going to support Black. We're only going to support Black businesses. But let's switch the narrator real quick. Let's switch it, because the narrator to that is Black people are being targeted in marketing, right? That's the narrative in that situation. Now, when you switch the narrative real quick, so fam, you look at it completely different. Like, Black people are targeted because we bring light to the brand. See, now when you look at it from that perspective, you're like, wow, I'm honored. You want to target my community, not my community because it's not my community, but you know what I'm saying? You want to target the Black community because clearly we bring something to the brand that you like, that we have a bigger ability to make this item look good, like we bring that context, we bring that energy, we bring a little bit of something that clearly is clear that other races may not bring. And not to put down any other race. That's not what I'm trying to. Don't switch it to that narrative. No. What I'm trying to say, Soul Fam, is start shifting the narrative of your life and just make it more positive. Switch it to a positive. Because we can sit around and say, we could play the victim role. We could easily fall into a victim role. And where does that get anybody? When you're a victim, and you're reading your story as if you're a victim, you take away your light. You know what I'm saying? You take away the greatness that you're actually bringing to something. So don't dim your light overall with anything. If you started a brand, and maybe in the beginning you started it because, let's say you started the brand because you was broke. You started it because you was broke. You started it because you just needed some money, you needed some funds, and you started the brand. It's not a bad brand, but your reasoning for starting it was because you were broke, because you needed money, right? That's why most people start brands. They need money, right? Now, when you later on you may want to switch your narrative and change it a little bit. I started this, because I needed some money, but I started to get creative with my ways of making money. Instead of saying I was broke. You get what I'm saying? Stop saying you was broke. Even if you was broke, okay. You saying I had to get creative with how I was making money also says I'm broke. But you switch the narrative on it. You're not focusing in on being broke. Now you're focusing in on being creative with that brokenness. Okay? Everyone will not get that, and that is okay. Alright? The moral of the story, so fam, is to move forward in a positive light. Like, just make it positive. Just as hard as it is, because oftentimes other races don't understand that these black shoes that we're forced to walk in, because we didn't ask to be black, or maybe we did and we don't know. No one really knows, but we didn't ask to walk in these shoes, and it is a bullseye for black men and women. The struggle may be a little different, but it's still a struggle because we're looked down on in this world. So moving forward, as hard as it is to kill all that negativity that continues to shine our way, make it positive. Change the narrative. Change the context just a little bit. Zoom in on the good side, because when you puzzle into the positive, you start to develop more positive thoughts. And I'm not gonna lie, I started to understand that as I read this book. I do recommend this book for healing, but they gave some great points with just your brain, just understanding your brain. But when you channel those positive thoughts, more positive thoughts follow. When you feed a negative thought, more negative thoughts follow, until you become conscious enough or aware enough to say, all right, I'm not going to feed that negative thought. And it's in a lot of areas of our lives that we'll overlook because we're so comfortable in it. Like we're so comfortable with the way things are or were, that we don't even realize, wow, this needs to be addressed. This needs to be addressed in my own life. And that's exactly how I'm coming to you today, so fam, because I had to address it in my own life. With my first brand that I started a wig brand. I know I don't have no hair right now, but I used to wear a lot of wigs, right? And I started wearing wigs. I started the brand. I started the brand obviously because I wanted to make some more money, but also because I was good at it. Morally, I was very good at making the wigs look real. And so as I'm growing in my coaching journey, I'm on the fence of, do I want to continue? My brand is still going now, but I'm on the fence of, do I want to keep this brand? And the reason why I'm on the fence, it's making money, But I'm on the fence because I'm looking at the story of it. I'm like, I don't want women to feel like they need to wear a wig to be beautiful, and my reasoning for wanting to just kind of put it into the brand is because it's like, ladies, you don't need this wig. I truly thought we needed the wig. Obviously, that's why I started. But as I grew, I'm like, I still like to wear me a wig. It does look good, but it doesn't define you. And a lot of women that I sell my wigs to are defined by these wigs. And to be honest, if I'm selling the wig or not selling the wig, they're going to still get them a wig. But when I really started to think about it, I'm like, okay, look at yourself. Look at your narrative. What are you standing for? Do you want to keep this brand going? And I started to look at the narrative from a different perspective. And not to say the narrative, not that they'll get it from somewhere else. No, that's not the narrative I'm talking about. But the narrative was like, in order for you to have a wig brand, you have to have a foreign vendor. Okay, so you can't sell hair from a black person, is what I'm saying. Like, black people can't sell their own hair. You get what I'm saying? So if anyone has a wig brand, they're selling another race hair. So Indian or Brazilian or Chinese, honestly, they really don't be knowing. But I mean, when you go to India, no, you know the difference between Indian hair and other hair. Indian hair is the best one. But when you're selling this hair, you're potentially building up India, building up China, building up these other ethnicities, selling the wig. So I'm like, well, wigs are great and all, but we're the one that's doing all of the work to sell it. You get what I'm saying? Like, Indians don't know how to pluck. Indians don't know how to make it look real. Indians aren't wearing the wigs. You're not going to see an Indian wearing a wig. You get what I'm saying? Black people are the one making this wig like phenomenal. Like, they're bringing so much life to this hair that we're making these other countries rich. They are flourishing from our head, from just our head. So then I'm like, but that is amazing. I wonder if women realize that power as a black person. Like, look how many people you're able to help out with just your head. That alone, you get what I'm saying? When you switch the narrative, so fam, you gotta look at it for really what it is. When you're switching the narrative, you're reading it for what exactly it is. And I don't know if I want to take offense or if I want to be honored. And if I want to be more positive, wow, I'm honored. I'm not hurt. I'm honored that we bring that much life to your creativity, your item. And it is a humble brag. So some people like, people think that you're not supposed to have a humble brag. Everyone has their humble brag. Every race have their humble brag. And for black people, I think we need to be more truthful about our humble brags. Like I said, so fam, some people will get it, some people will not get it, and that is okay. I understand that when I was ready for this message, and I am so relieved in a sense that, like, I'm just so thankful and happy to be black. Mixed with a couple other things, but more or less when people see me, they see black. Okay? They not sitting there asking, are you Are you? No, they ain't asking. They looking and they saying she black. And we all know black is a color. Yes, black is not a race. Yes, I get all that. But one thing at a time. One thing at a time, so fam. So fam, watch this video twice if you missed it. But in your life, in your next chapters, oh my God, I love these earrings. In your next chapter, so fam, shift the narrative with it all. Look at it all. Look at the experiences. Look at the creations. Look at the days. Look at the people. And shift the narrative as you move forward. And move in that light. You know, move from that energy. And you'll see things just move a lot smoother. Alright, so fam, Amelia Adair here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm going to see you at the next win. Bye for now.